Hello everyone, it is me Zelric, and today I'm going to go over a short video for Zana and her lore. This isn't meant to be a full recap of everything, but it is meant to be a good little uh, start if you want to know more about her. If you'd like to know more in detail what her story is about, I would recommend going to channels like Kit Kat Noodle and things like that, who specialize in the lore of PoE and do amazing jobs at doing long form, very in detail, every event type style lore videos of the characters. But today will be more of a short, sweet introduction slash catch up to who Zana is and maybe predictions at the end of the video of what she might be doing in the future of the PoE expansions, because you can tell if you followed the story at all in 3.26 Secrets of the Atlas that she definitely is going to have an expanded role and probably end up doing something crazy next patch, if or in a couple patches, depending on how GGG ends up laying it all out. But regardless, Zana Caesarius is the daughter of Valdo. She We first meet her in the Forsaken Masters update, which is actually patch 1.2.1, while she is standing in Oriath after you've beaten Kitava in Act 10. While there, she tasks you with helping her find her father, and along those means, you go along with her and defeat maps and stuff like that. Go do what you do now, except a lot less involved, seeing as there was a lot less mechanics involved, and there was no Atlas passive tree. But you did basically the same things. What you were doing was you were going from the outside in, and I'll actually see if I can find a PoE Atlas Forsaken Masters pick pick. Can we see? There it is. All right. Nope. Not what I want. Regardless, that little teeny tiny image right there is basically it. That's the War of the Atlas pick actually. Here's a better version of it. There we go. This is actually, I think, the War of the Atlas, but regardless, this is very similar to what it was in 1.2.1, which is when she was released. And you went from the outside over here inward instead of going from the bottom up like we do now. You went to the four guardians obviously, and then in the middle was the Shaper himself. So the Shaper is actually Valdo, which was her father, as you probably know if you've played through the game and fought any of the bosses regarding her, like Uber, Elder, or anything, which I think everybody who's played enough to get to maps has gotten to that point. The Forsaken Masters update also brought with it the NPCs you now see in Betrayal. A lot of the characters that aren't bosses throughout the campaign that you fight in the Betrayal mechanic also were masters, Forsaken Masters, right alongside Zana in this update. Regardless, that's not really neither here nor there. When you help her find her father, we fight and kill the Shaper, and during that update, that was it. You basically kill the Shaper, and he's like, "Ah, dang it, I just now started to remember you." Well, in the later update, in the War for the Atlas I just showed you, where you're fighting the Elder, you help her find her father, then her father tells you as he's being defeated where to find a key to help you seal the Elder. So once she is able to go and with your help grab that, she takes and exile you, and in this timeline there's a couple of timelines. There's one where you, the player, go defeat the Elder with her alone. Then there's the official canon timeline, which is the Elder Slayers, or Cirrus, Baron, and his cohort of people that you fight in game were the people to help her defeat the Elder with this device that you get. It's called the Chrono something or another. I don't know. Anyway, Kit and Cat Noodle will be able to tell you that better. Regardless, they end up defeating the Elder. The Elder is whisked away into a realm of basically unbeing, no time, no nothing. It's where he was created, but he can be forever sealed in there. So it's essentially like killing him off. But because he is such a elder being, those kinds of beings really can't be killed per se. They can only kind of be forestalled or sealed away, which is what we had to do with the Elder. So essentially he's been defeated and killed, but he still exists, just in a realm where he can't reach us. And during that update, he was causing all sorts of trouble. The Elder was eating children's dreams alongside Valdo and the guy from the synthesis maps, Cortex. He also had his memories eaten by the Elder. He was Venarius, a High Templar before Dominus. Dominus was a bag of worms, and so was Venarius. Venarius wanted the Atlas for himself. Valdo ended up getting corrupted and taught certain things from the Elder before he knew the Elder was the Elder. And this all led to Valdo's family, the Shaper's family, including Zana, being excommunicated from the Templars. Basically, thus, once Valdo was lost, because he got lost in the Atlas for 20 years alongside Venarius after they lost their memories to the Elder, Zana was out in the real world and she had nowhere to go. She was an orphan. She was still a kid at this time. So she ends up going into orphanages as an indentured servant to a lot of these wealthier families because of who she was. And she was very smart. Valdo was smart, so she was smart. She also saw some of the research that he did trying to repair the Atlas. Thus, she became an Atlas runner, basically what we do, but better, a master cartographer, as her original title was. And that's how we find her. She's a master cartographer helping us get through the Atlas. Well, after the Elder has been defeated by the Elder Slayers actually get locked into the Atlas by Zana because she sees that the Elder Slayers are getting way too powerful for their own good. Even after the Elder is defeated, she starts saying, hey guys, can we stop? We don't need to continue going into the Atlas. Their greed, their want to get more powerful, basically the player's ambitions in the Atlas that we go through in the mapping, where you just want to keep getting stuff and more powerful, is translated into the Elder Slayers want to just keep going in there. So she gets scared of their power and locks them into the Atlas, destroying any way of getting out. Well, some time passes, and another exile finds Zana in the Atlas. She then scolds you for finding her and giving Zana and or giving Cirrus, Baron, and all them a way out via your Atlas that you've been using to find her in this previous update. So this is the Conquerors of the Atlas update with Cirrus and Baron and all them, as I've said. Ooh, oh, new picture. Nice. I didn't even mean to do that. Baron, you find Baron via Kirak, his brother, the one that you now work for as part of his Atlas runners, finding the Maven and the Searing Exarch and the Eater of Worlds. All of them, but before all that, he wants you to help him find his brother, which is one of the Conquerors of the Elder and the Conquerors of the Atlas. You do. He says that Baron is beyond saving, and so is all the rest of them. They have gone completely insane from being locked in the Atlas for what they seem was centuries. So because of that, they've gone basically mad. Cirrus actually died versus the Elder, but was somehow resurrected via that power. And Zana eventually finds him, as you see in his fight. If you fought him, you, Kirak, and Zana all confront him before he goes into the Atlas to into an atlas he made to go back to the real world, Oriath, to start destroying it. Well, Sirius tries to kill Zana because they were lovers at one point. Implied, but it was never outright said, but they were lovers at one point, or at least loved each other. So she tries to reason with him for a second. He tries to blast her because he's gone completely insane. Kirik jumps in the way, gets hurt, so she can't help you in the fight. You go, defeat Sirius. Once you've defeated Sirius, she comes out, sees what's happened, says basically, how can this happen? I don't know where it all went wrong. So she goes, all right, I'm kind of done with this. I don't want to participate in this anymore. The Atlas has completely ruined everything in my life, so I'm going to stop. And she did. That's why she left for a while, and we didn't see her until this update where she's now the originator and threatening to destroy the Atlas after Egan finds her at the end of the storyline and beating the 3 tutorial versions of the 3 new Pinnacle bosses. And that's how we basically find her. We go through her memory strands that are being scattered across the Atlas because of her attempting to destroy the Atlas. We don't really know how she's doing it or why, per se. I mean, obviously you can kind of glean that she just doesn't like the Atlas anymore. But anyway, that's kind of a very rough and dirty rundown of her. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I think you should have a great day. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Oh, and predictions. I imagine she's just going to destroy the Atlas, and that will give GGG a way of either completely altering the Atlas in some way, giving us a completely brand new setup, or changing it entirely. I don't know what systems that could entail, but I do believe that they're gearing up for some massive shakeup to how we run maps. Instead of doing the bottom to top or whatever, I don't know what they're going to do, but I imagine it's going to involve some kind of re-tiering, or maybe getting rid of some of the more superfluous maps so you don't have to run so many before you really start your stride and getting like to the good stuff, because there is a period of time where you kind of have to go through each map one by one to get your points, and that's fine. I don't mind that, but I don't know what they're going to do, but I'm excited to find out what they do, and it'll be great. It'll be awesome. I'm excited to see what kind of shakeups they put into the game after the PoE 2 update. But anyway, that's kind of my quick and dirty thoughts on everything. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic day.